whether to share this secret with you or not, but I can't tell a lie, so I'm going to share it with you. I don't have anything prepared for you today. And there's two reasons why. The first thing is because I spoke in Barrie, and I have a presentation that I do. I've been a speaker for a long time. And the universe told me I wasn't allowed to do my normal presentation. It gave me one line, which was, it's better to do the right thing imperfectly than the wrong thing perfectly. And the universe promised me if I just said that line, everything else would follow. It was so much fun, I decided I'm going to do it again tonight for you guys. The other reason is when you are the second last speaker and you've heard who's going to follow you, it's kind of good to bring something fresh to the table. I wanted to make sure that I wasn't repeating a lot of what you've already heard because you've been sitting here all day and you probably have a bum that is numb and a brain that is full and a heart that is full. So I thought, what can I bring to the table for you guys? The end of the day as a reward for sticking here. And I thought, out of everything I heard, you need to make a decision. And I hope that I inspire you to make two decisions. The first is, decide that everybody that's been up on this stage today is no different than you. We don't have more motivation. We don't have more discipline. I'm sure the other speakers would agree, there are days when we just watch Netflix too, just like normal people do. We are no better than you. We are not extraordinary other than as an individual, just like you're extraordinary. The biggest barrier a lot of people have is they start thinking their problems are bigger than everybody else's. Is I'm too old, I'm going to be 55 in a couple of weeks, so you can't use that one on me. I'm too young, I don't have the experience, I don't have the education. I just graduated from high school and I'm pregnant with my first child. I don't care what the barrier is. Your problems have not superseded anybody on this stage. So the first thing I want you to decide is if they can do it, I can do it. Everybody okay with that? Yeah. You got it? Okay. So I want you to say it out loud because words matter. If they can do it, I can do it. So that's the first decision I want you to make. The second decision that I want you to make is that you matter. You matter more than your children, your spouse, your job. You matter because of who you are. And those people came into your life with an agreement that they were going to be part of your journey. But they are not more important than you. Hence, when you get on an airplane, parents, they will say to you, put on your oxygen mask first before you attend to any children. Why? Because you're not any good if you're passed out. Okay? You're not any good if you don't have the energy to be able to interact with the people you love because you gave so much of yourself away during the day. You are not good to anyone if you're sick or you're sick and tired. How many people here are just sick and tired of being sick and tired? Right? I have been there. And I want you to know that if you're sick and tired of being sick and tired, or if you're one of those people who says, I will be happy when, I'll be happy when I get the new job, I'll be happy when I lose 15 pounds, I'll be happy when I meet the love of my life. If you're one of in those two groups of people, change is a-coming. And there's two ways that change comes. One is the change that we create for ourselves, and the other is a change that's created by a crisis. Which do you think is a better route to take? Here's the thing. Everybody wants it easy. I just gave you easy. Create your own change, because my change came through a crisis. And if I could go back and change anything, it would be I created my own change. I am here living my dream life by default. Because I let all of the little messages that I was given in the universe go by. And what happens is the universe, what it does, it starts off with a little whisper. Hey, Darlene. Do I smile too? It's like, hey, Darlene, this doesn't feel right. Maybe you should be looking at doing something different. How many have ever had that feeling? Right? And then it gets a little bit louder. Stuff starts to happen. And you're like, right? And then the universe finally decides it's got to slap you up the side of the head. So here's my story. When I was 18, I wanted to be a writer. I told my family that's what I wanted to do. And they basically said, you can't afford to be a writer. You love pretty things. So you should be doing something else other than being a writer. So I went into business. Wasn't my passion, but I became a financial advisor. I did very well. And it got to the point where this isn't too bad. You know, I'm making good money. Once we started having kids, I had flexible hours, so I had 3 athletes. So you can imagine traveling all over Ontario, North America. And my husband was a shift worker, so I always knew that I could just change my schedule up. So I was that person who said, I will change my job when the kids grow up and move out. I'll change my job when I have this amount of money in my bank account. I will change my job when I get a better opportunity. Now, I was an award-winning, top-performing financial advisor for the largest financial institution in Canada. You think that would be enough, but it wasn't. And so in 2007, I got approached to open a financial planning company with some partners. And I thought, this is it. This is the change that I'm looking for, because I get to be my own boss. I always wanted to own my own company. Did anyone catch the date? So if I was to go back in time and pick the worst date to open a brand new financial planning company, it would have been the fall of 2007, which is when we opened our doors. So in 2008, as you know, the stock market lost 50% of its value. And it just got to the point where no matter what we did, we couldn't keep the company going. I had never failed before in my life. Not even a test. Nothing. And here I was, failing publicly in an industry where I was well respected for over 25 years. And I was failing. I mean, we're talking about having to close our doors. I'm talking about having to lose our house, my car, my self-esteem, my self-respect. And by the time every bit of financial security I had was gone, my sister was diagnosed with lung cancer. So we lost everything, then we lost my sister, and then we lost my mom. All within a 2-year period of time. And I had no reason to get out of bed anymore. Has anyone been there? And the only thing that eventually got me going was the knowledge that my sister would kick my ass if she could for me laying in bed being sad about my life when she fought for every last breath. I had forgotten that I had won the lottery. I had won the lottery because I live in Canada, where females and males are educated for free all the way up through high school. And that if you can't afford to go to post-secondary education, you can get a loan to that. I grew up in a world where I was the first woman hired by my financial planning company, way back when I was 22 years old. Average person who worked for the company was male and 45. 250 employees, 249 were men. And yet, I wasn't stopped. In fact, I was Rookie of the Year. I had forgotten I had won the lottery because all I was looking at is all the things I had lost. instead of looking at all of the things I had. And so I started a gratitude practice. Anybody here have a gratitude practice? Like, do you do it every day? So my feet do not hit the floor before I do my gratitude practice in the morning. And this is why gratitude works. Is because when you focus on what you have instead of what you've lost, you become hopeful. And when you become hopeful, you get inspired. And when you become inspired, you want to take action. And the moment you take action, things change. You are one gratitude practice and one decision away from changing anything in your life. There's nothing complicated about this. That's it. Done. There's nothing more to say. Because it's not complicated and we make it complicated. Why? Because it's easier to think it's too hard than to do it. I don't have any more motivation than you do. I don't. I don't have any more discipline than you do, other than the fact that I am very disciplined about my gratitude practice. I do know that I have been through what most people would say is the most terrible thing, and that is losing everything that I owned and then losing my loved ones. And yet I'm still here. And I can tell you right now, if that hadn't happened, I would not be living the life of my dreams now. But I could have done this without losing everything. I was stupid. Don't be stupid. You can change the direction of your life. And there's somebody here right now that knows that there is one thing they need to do. And that one thing has been going over and over and over in your mind. And every time you think it, an obstacle pops up. Well, but I have to pay my mortgage. Well, my kids need to go into hockey, and that's going to take money away from whatever I want. It's like these obstacles keep popping up for you, and you keep cycling back to the, in another day, another time, I will do that. But if you just take one step, if you just make that decision, even if it takes you 10 years, who cares? At least the change is going to come from you. It's not going to come from a crisis. How many people know of someone who was diagnosed with something this year, some sort of health problem? Do you know why they call it disease? I feel like the majority of times when you go through something like that, whether it's the loss of a loved one, through a health crisis, through a financial crisis, and you've heard the stories here all day, it's not just me, is that your wake-up call? Has anyone here had a wake-up call and ignored it? What do you need? What do you need? You need me? I've been known to kick a few asses in my lifetime. I'm a great accountability partner, so you can always sign up. There's a 30-minute clarity session you can sign up for with me, and we can talk about what you need. But you don't need anything. You just need to make a decision. And so I'm going to put a challenge out to you. I want you right now, everyone pull out your phone or a piece of paper, whatever you have, get to the notes. Everybody got something to write on? The first thing I want you to write is, I want to, and finish that with have, be, do, whatever you were inspired today. I want to have my own business. I want to sit naked in a hot tub. I don't know what it is, but just whatever that is. I have, be, or do whatever. It can be big or small. Doesn't matter to me. Has everybody got their I'm going to have be or do. It's harder than you think, isn't it? Isn't it amazing we can sit there and online shop and scroll through thousands of tops and not get overwhelmed and find the one that we want, and yet when we have a choice of anything in our lifetime, we get overwhelmed. Okay, so now second step. To do whatever it is or have whatever it is, the next logical step for me is, write it down. Anyone struggling with the next logical step? Most of us know what it is. We just don't like to write it down because it makes it official. Like maybe I'll have to do it or something. Raise your hand when you're done writing both of those things, so I have an idea of when everybody's finished. Getting close. So here's the gig. Anyone who shows me proof in the next 48 hours that they have done that action step and sends me an email, darlene@darlenebutts.com, I will send you the book of your choice for free. So darlene@darlenebutts.com. I want you to take a picture of your notes, the be, do, have, and the next logical step. And if you send me evidence of doing the next logical step, whatever that may be, I will send you a free book. Now you might think, wow, she's really generous. I'm really not. You know why? Because there's only about 10% of you that are going to do it. Check out the numbers. So you've sat here all day long. You've heard from everybody. You have been inspired. You've been empowered. You've been educated. You know everything you need to know. And if you forget, you can go on Google tomorrow and look it up. You have everything you need to know to live the life you want to live. I'm giving you an opportunity. And it's not an opportunity to read my book. It's an opportunity to have some accountability, so this wasn't a waste of time for you. That you don't end up a week from now forgetting about what everybody says and forgetting about what you really wanted from this. Make sense? Now, just raise a hand. How many of you think you'll actually do it and send me an email? That's more than 10%. Let's see what happens. And if you want to know even just the fact of how many people actually respond, then you can send me an email and say, I'm not doing it. I'm just curious. And I will answer for you. You have everything you need. You live in a great country. You're motivated enough to spend a Saturday, a beautiful Saturday in here listening to motivational speakers. You're smart, you're brilliant, you're beautiful. Just go out and get it. Thank you.